In the past 4 years, many have ventured and visited this beautiful country, Ghana, where you meet welcoming people, good food, and great vibes. While that sounds amazing, making a move to Ghana can ultimately be a great challenge. That's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Don't let this scare you. Ghana can be the it place for you, but I'll be real with you. It's not going to be easy, but definitely attainable. So let's get into it. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Gabby Mack. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, welcome. On this channel we talk about travel, lifestyle, we chat about so many different things, and most importantly we really talk about the everyday lifestyle living in Ghana. So a few years ago I embarked on moving to Ghana, and that's what really prompted this channel. So at the moment, no, I'm not in Ghana. I am back in the States. But I started this channel, and I really started it because I had a really strong interest of moving to Ghana, which I eventually did, and I kind of wanted to talk about my everyday lifestyle and how I made the move, and just kind of advise people as to how to prepare yourself to move to Ghana, things you need to do before going, how it is when you are there, and like just a lot of different things when it comes to Ghana. I also started a podcast to talk to the everyday Ghanaian person about so many different things, so many different topics and stuff like that. So ultimately, yes, my channel is really centered around Ghana. Unfortunately, I'm not there at the moment, and I kind of really lost interest because I wasn't there. I felt like I couldn't really give quality content just surrounded around Ghana, and I spoke to a lot of people and they're like, Gabby, you can talk about Ghana wherever you are, and I was like, that's definitely true. And but partly too is because I haven't really had much time working full-time back in the States, so I was like, I have to make time. I want to get back to it. But the reason why we are talking today, why I'm doing this video, is because it's been 3 years since I dropped the infamous The Ugly Truth video on my channel, and that video honestly really took off for me. That was the video that got a lot of attention to this channel. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why you even started watching my channel to begin with, was really that video. And I kind of really wanted to revisit the video and just to talk about all the things that I talked about. I did a part 1 and a part 2, and I want to briefly talk about everything today and just kind of compare to see, does everything that I mentioned back then, since it's been 3 years, does it still stand? Does it still apply when you're thinking about moving to Ghana? So that's ultimately what we are talking about today. All right, so I had to go back and look at the numbers just to see how how many people actually really watched this video. So the Ugly Truth video, the part 1, 238,000 views till today. Wow, thank you guys. Thank you. I applaud you guys for watching. I know it came with a lot. It came with a lot of arguments, negative thoughts, good thoughts. There was a lot of conversation happening in the comment section. I felt like I was fighting at a point, and then I stopped fighting because other people started fighting for me. But yeah, I think overall it was, like, based on the numbers, it was a great video. It started a lot of conversations. It prompted a lot of things, a lot of topics, a lot of concerns, and we're gonna touch on that again today. And then the part 2 currently is at 50K views. So I guess I don't know, I guess maybe people didn't really feel the same for the part 2 versus the part 1, but I think because the part 1 I really touched on some really touchy topics compared to the part 2. And I remember reading this comment where someone said they felt like I kind of held back on the part 2 because of all the attention and the comments I was getting in the part 1. And I think partly that was kind of true, because I definitely felt attacked. I really did. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I feel like this is what YouTube is about. It's to talk about things. It's to help people. It's to give people advice. It's to also it's a #2 search engine, so you can search so many different things. And I'm like, if people are going to Ghana, if people have interest in going to Ghana, we need to talk about the nitty-gritty. We need to talk about the things that people really don't want to talk about because they kind of feel afraid, that, or the things that people kind of sugarcoat. And that's really what that whole video really was about, to really talk about the real deal. Ghana is a beautiful country. It's a lovely place to live at. I tell people 1,000,001 times on my videos, I'm not here to compare Ghana to the Western world. But if I had anything to compare it to, it would be the Western world, because that's where I live. So I'm gonna use my experiences from here and my experiences from there as well. Granted, when you are moving to Ghana or traveling to Ghana or anywhere in general, you have to go with an open mind. You have to prepare yourself to experience the culture shock, to experience things that you just sometimes just goes beyond your understanding. But that's what it comes in living somewhere else, So yeah, so the 10 things that I highlighted on, we're gonna quickly go through them today, just to see if it still applies today. I talked about bribery, I talked about entertainment, I talked about the health system, official documentation, travel, education, real estate, infrastructure, telecommunication, and utilities. So we're gonna quickly talk about each one, and let's see, let's see if things have actually changed or not. It's been 3 years. A lot can happen in 3 years, and a lot cannot happen in 3 years. So let me go back to when I lived in Ghana, and what I hear now, what I see now, because I'm still in touch with a lot of friends and family back home. So I still get the tea, and I do still keep up with a lot of stuff that's going on, because Ghana's always on my mind. So yeah, so the #1 thing that I talked about first was the bribery. I don't think bribery will ever stop, to be honest. It's not going to. And people highlighted the fact that there's bribery everywhere. Yes, there is bribery everywhere, even right here in America. It's just that, like I said in the video before, and I still stand by it, it's more blatant and in your face in Africa and in Ghana per se, compared to here. I think here it's more sugar-coated, it's more swept under the rug. Maybe you see more high-end people here doing it, as opposed to back home, where it's like even the everyday person is possibly bribing a cop, bribing someone to get a driver's license, bribing someone for so many different things. But it's there. And it's not, I don't think it's gonna stop today or tomorrow. I just think that it's part of it's part of the lifestyle over there. Like I said in the previous video, that it did, it does make you feel uncomfortable. I don't know, for me it makes me feel uncomfortable. But I think after a while, when you see how the systems are and you want things done, you find yourself doing it too. Like, even if it's really little, I mean, you may not be bribing a law official, but or someone in power per se, but you can be bribing the local market woman to do something for you. I don't know. It can be so many things, but I just think that still stands. I don't think that really changes, and I think a lot of people can relate to that in other African countries as well. I don't think it's only Ghana. So yeah, the next thing was entertainment. So a lot has changed, I have to say, when it comes down to entertainment. When I first started visiting Ghana pretty frequently, I felt that a lot of the entertainment was very repetitive, and that's the reason I felt like it was limited. Now I have to say that I still believe it could be repetitive, but there's definitely way more things now to do in Ghana for sure. And if you guys watch back on my old vlogs, you would see me getting involved in doing activities. Like when I travel, anywhere I go, I love to do activities. So that was like one of my biggest things when I was there. I felt like there was activities, but they weren't easily accessible. And I think now that we have a lot of attention going to Ghana, the activities is definitely more blatant, more out there, more accessible, more affordable. So there's definitely more activities to do now. Granted, there's always going to be a million and one restaurants open and closing, because that's just Ghana for you. There's always a new spot. I guarantee every time I've gone for Christmas, there's always a new hangout spot. So that's that. So you always find somewhere, to party. If you're looking for the outdoor scenery, you're looking for a lounge setting, you're looking for a luxury restaurant to go to, a really local restaurant, that's there. There's more fun activities. I see a lot of like paint and sip is a big thing now. There's karaoke, you have go-kart, you have the ATV bikes, they have the hot balloon now you can do. You see more people hiking. Like, there's definitely way more activities now, for sure. So I feel like the entertainment has has changed a lot, and I think that goes to say, because of how much foreigners have come into town, I think a lot of people have also come to realize that there's an opportunity to make money, to start a business in that sector when they saw that it was lacking. So I think that sector is going well. I think it can even be better. It can expand and become better. I even believe that even the government gets involved, and if it's not just only privately owned things that are opened up, but even the government even opening a boardwalk can create millions and millions of revenue for the country. I think it would create so many jobs, and it would just be a whole new experience of entertainment. I think that sometimes people get tired of just going out to just go eat, or just going out to stand somewhere and just listen to music. For me, like, I'm more of I really like activities. I like to do more hands-on. Like, I love to like skate, bowl, and all that stuff. So I feel like if there was more of those, like, people would really, really enjoy it. I mean, I know there's a bowling alley now in Ghana, and they have like the trampoline, and for the kids too as well. So there's definitely improvement, for sure. There's definitely there's a lot of improvement in that sector. So the next thing I talked about was the health system in Ghana. Lord, I felt so attacked when I talked about this, because a lot of people was like, oh, the health system here in America is not good. The health system here is this, is that. How can you compare it? And Ghana has good health system. And I was just like, oh Lord, please forgive me. But the health system in Ghana, I have to say, what I say from then when I spoke about it to now has improved. I think it definitely has improved in a sense that there's more facilities opening up. Granted, they are mostly privately owned, but there's definitely more access, I feel, to like clinics. There's an influx of pharmacies everywhere. So I think that people have seen the need to upgrade the system, and it's definitely in process. So I definitely feel like this time around, if you go, you have a better chance of being seen and being taken care of well. Even though it's a privately owned clinic or hospital, I feel like it definitely has improved. Personally, for me, I've gone to probably the hospital like once or twice while I was living in Ghana, and I went to a smaller clinic, and overall, I think my experience was pretty decent. I saw the doctor. I did what I had to do. I felt welcome, and I think that if they pay more close attention to taking care of the patients as opposed to just looking at the money aspect of it, I think that the healthcare in Ghana could be amazing. So I think, has it improved overall? I think that it's well on its way of getting better, and healthcare is just touchy, because I think it needs improvement everywhere. To be honest, it needs improvement everywhere. But at the end of the day, I'm like, if you take care of yourself well, and you see the doctor when you're supposed to, I don't think you really have to worry much about that. I mean, even I guess for my older folks who are thinking about moving down and they're thinking about healthcare, how would that affect them? I think it's definitely good that you do your research and find a doctor or a clinic that you can trust, that you feel comfortable with. Don't just go off of one recommendation. I suggest that you go to multiple places. Maybe the private sector might be the best bet for you over going to the public hospitals that are, super packed, super filled. It's a lot going on there. So if you're looking for more direct care and you want that one-on-one, I think you should go more for the private sector. So yeah, there's definitely room for improvement. I think that more of us that are here, and abroad should look into taking what we've learned back home and opening these clinics and training these nurses and doctors and things like that. So if that's your forte, look into it, because I think there's always room for improvement regardless. The other thing I talked about was the official documentation, and I was talking more about getting like license, passports, things like that in Ghana. It has always been proven to be difficult to get, even getting the ID. I remember, I think a few months ago, I saw a video of I forgot who the guy was, but he was someone popular from the UK. Went to go get the Ghana ID card. Turned into a whole fight. Like, it was just a lot, and you see so many people sitting there waiting, and they're always saying that the system is down and you can't print this and you can't print. It's a lot. I think it definitely needs more improvement. Like, the systems are in place for a reason, and they need to work. They pretty much need to work. That's literally what it is. It needs to work. So just know that when it comes down to getting those things, it could be a bit of a hassle. So just prepare yourself. That's all I can really say about that. Then I touched on travel in the sense of people trying to travel out of Ghana. I think that a lot of people can attest to the fact that it's difficult to travel, especially here to America. To other countries maybe a little bit easier, but granted, we have a lot of embassies in Ghana, so that's good. You can easily assess certain embassies, but travel has always seemed to be, I think, a big thing for people back home trying to leave out, trying to get visas. It's tough, and I think it's still tough, and I wish that sector would get better. I can't really say much about it because it's like that's not really an issue for me, and I wish that it wasn't for a lot of people. And I wish that they had better systems to make it easier for people to travel out of out of Ghana, and even just within within Africa itself. It's like so many laws in place, and it's like you can't travel to the neighboring country without this and without that, and it's just like how here in the U.S. we just fly to the next state or drive to the next state like it's nothing. But then again, it's like it's countries. Each place is a country. Each place comes with its law. So that's that's really much I can really say about travel. It could be better. But in terms of maybe our airports and things, we do really have a nice airport. Ghana has improved. I mean, the new Kumasi airport. There's a lot happening, I guess, in that sector too. I think they're trying to make more international flights, coming into Ghana and into different airports, not just only Accra, the Kotoka International Airport. So that's good to know. So they've definitely put that into consideration. So I think there's definitely improvement. And like I said, we have a really, really nice airport overall. Like, I always enjoy flying out of Accra. It's pretty simple. It's not too chaotic. And it's a quick in and out. So I think that's great. Then in part 2 of this Ugly Truth video, I touched upon education. This part, I think, overall was good. I think the education sector in Ghana, for me, I always say is great, because I've experienced it myself. I've actually gone to school in Ghana, and I've always liked the system in terms of being really disciplined. The kids are like very competitive when it comes down to school and stuff. So I feel like they produce a lot of great students, a lot of amazing students. I wish there was more schools that can connect with schools here. So if they complete certain programs, they get the opportunity to travel. I know that there is some on the university level for some schools. They do have direct contact with schools here or in Europe and things like that. But I think that I wish that there was more opportunities for kids that way to travel out too, so that would be a way to also leave the country if you want to further your education. It wouldn't, you won't find it so difficult. But I feel like that should be something that they should look into more, especially on the primary and JSS level. Like I said, there's more on the college level, more on the university level that you hear people getting that opportunities. But there's so many smart kids out there that just need that chance. And but overall, I think education it's pretty decent in Ghana. I know, here and there you hear the teachers going on strike because they're not being paid, and I mean that's another story, and that goes into more of like the government side of things, politics and things like that. But overall, I think education is really great in Ghana, and if you do have kids and you're trying to move to Ghana, I don't think that would really necessarily be an issue when it comes down to schooling. Another thing was that I brought up was real estate in Ghana. So this sector, I have to say, has definitely improved for sure. Real estate is huge in Ghana right now. I know a lot of people moving back home, building their own home or investing in property. It's really big. Like everywhere you turn around, people are, there's buildings springing up. So real estate is really big right now in Ghana. It could be dangerous too, I have to say. Like I mentioned in the video about how you have to be careful who you're buying land from, where you're buying the land from, who you paying to, because there's been many stories of people paying to the wrong people. I feel like that has not changed. That's still there. Would you want to get into it? I think it's if you have the money and you're ready to do your research and invest, I think you should definitely invest in property in Ghana. It's I don't think you ever really lose. Like you will always, whether you decide to turn your property into an apartment or Airbnb, or you just want to rent your house, I think it's a great business. It's a great investment, I have to say. But you definitely have to think of the the losses and the profits, everything. You got to do your research. That's all I have to say. Do your research. I know there's a lot of YouTubers that talk about that side of living in Ghana, the real estate, like how it is going for them, building. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to real estate. So I think that if you're definitely looking into it, do your research, and I think it could be very profitable. So real estate is definitely doing well in Ghana. Now, infrastructure was one of the big things too that I talked about. So infrastructure in Ghana, I have to say, every time I go, I definitely do see improvement. I definitely do see more roads. I definitely do see a lot of more paved roads, I should say. I see a lot of overheads being built, a lot of interchanges being built, and they look beautiful. They, especially in Accra, they make it looks so nice. I think the Pokuase exchange, when I first got on that one, I was like, wow. I was in the car like, wow, like this is Ghana, and it's beautiful. And I wish that we get more of those things, because they relieve a lot of traffic, even though it takes forever for these people to build these things. But infrastructure in Ghana is definitely improving. I don't know if it's some of you guys can attest to it, but I've spent 5 Christmases in Ghana straight. So I've definitely seen improvement in driving in certain areas. I see roads, actually being done. And like, I know it's a campaign topic, like all the time. We have to fix the roads. It's the year of the roads. I mean, like, why are we still talking about that? Just do it. At this point, that's how I feel. Just do it. Like, it shouldn't even be, a campaign thing. Roads are definitely being fixed. Definitely. So roads, I can definitely say, are being fixed. There's a lot of high-rise, being built now, especially in Accra. I see a lot of high-rises, especially like around the airport, cantonment areas. It's a lot of high-rises now, which I think they're starting to see, like, starting to build up more can save space as opposed to building like wide, because there's an influx of people in Accra, especially in Accra. There's an influx of people in Accra right now, and even in the neighboring towns too, like even in Takoradi, where my grandmother is from, they're also building like a big overhead over there too as well, and that's gonna relieve so much traffic, and it's gonna be great. I think that infrastructure will always need improvement regardless. They can always expand the road, they can always add an overhead, they can always add a bridge. I think that they need to start tackling more local towns too, not just Accra, but roads that lead up into Accra, roads that lead into other towns. I have not really traveled too far in the past couple of years in Ghana, but when I was younger, I know we used to go like further, like past Kumasi. Like I haven't gone to the north yet, so I'm not sure. I mean, even if I go, I'd probably take a flight. I wouldn't drive. I've driven around like the Brown Afro region a little bit, and yeah, there's roads that I'm sure that they still need improvement. So I think now we need to focus more on these other places to help and attract people to go to other parts of, of Ghana, because Accra is not just Ghana. So I think if they improve more on that, expand the roads and not just these one way going, one way coming like roads, and that's quote unquote supposed to be the highway. We need more expansion when it comes down to those things. But I think if that, if that becomes better, like I said, people would travel more out to other parts of Ghana, and it won't be so much tension in just Accra, because I mean, look, there's other beautiful places to see. I've been to other parts of Ghana that is really nice, but if you think about the struggle to get there, most people are not gonna want to do it, especially thinking about how the roads is, and if there's no light, what happens on the way if my car breaks down, are there rest stops, is there gas stations, like things like that. So I think in terms of that, that's where the improvement can definitely go to, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree to that. So yeah, the other thing I talked about was telecommunication. Telecommunication, it was just pretty much me talking about phone services back home. Data has continuously become a big big issue always in Ghana. Recently MTN like took a bunch of different like bundle packages away that were pretty affordable, and people were like bickering about it, like why would you do that, it was really affordable. And now they brought back new packages, and it's not really the best. So I think that's the biggest thing in Ghana when it comes to telecommunication is it's the data packages. In terms of buying credits to use your phone, I think that is that one is not really much of an issue, but I think it's more of the data, because people are they're tuned in on their phone to everything, and like WhatsApp is using data, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, everything is using data. So that needs to be more accessible. It needs to be more affordable, especially because we're not in 1990 anymore, where people had to go to the small booth or the post office to go and make a phone call. Everything is in the palm of our hands right now, so we need to make that affordable and accessible for people. So I think it definitely needs to improve, and when it comes down to that, yeah, that's what I can say. It needs improvement. The last but not least was utilities. So utilities in Ghana, I think overall, if I wanted to compare my utility bills here to Ghana, I would take Ghana one because it's cheaper. But in terms of being reliable, I think electricity in Ghana is always going to be a type of conversation, because there's still continuing to be light off, and it's probably not as much as some other countries, but that can always need improvement. I think overall, I think people are waiting to the point where they don't, like, electricity is on all the time. No light off, no cutting this face off, only today this person has light, today, tomorrow. No, we are just waiting for that day where like that's not going to be an issue. And yeah, those were the topics that I talk about in the the ugly truth videos, and I just wanted to bring it back to see, like, has there been improvement, did it get worse? And there's a lot of these things still apply even now in 2023 if you're deciding to move to Ghana. I think consider all of these things. I don't think this is a reason why you should say I would never go there. Every place has issues. No place is 100%. Even here in this country is not 100%. But it's you choose your battle, choose your poison. I think that's really what it really is. I would tell people, hey, move there, move to Ghana, you love it. But it's not for everybody, and if like you don't do your proper research, you don't prepare yourself, Ghana will kick you out very quickly. You can go there with dollars and you return back crying. So it's a matter of preparation. It's a matter about really doing your research and knowing what you want to do. What what's the goal? Are you going there to retire? Are you going there to start business? If you have family, like thinking about school wise, where you're gonna live, how you're gonna get around, transportation, so there's a lot to consider. So I would say this and say it again. I've said it 1,000,001 times in all my videos. Do not go off the whimper because I went to Ghana in December and I had the best time ever that I'm picking up my bags and moving back there. Ghana will disappoint you. I'm telling you, I'm being really honest with you. If that's the reason why you went, just based off that experience, you will have a good time. It's a great experience. It's lovely. It's eye-opening, especially like a lot of our Black Americans that go there and just experience Africa in a whole different way. They're like, wow, this is what we're missing. It's beautiful. That feeling is great, I'm telling you. But if you only ride off that feeling and you don't do what you're supposed to do, Ghana will not be it for you. It's as simple as that. So do what you have to do. If this really the place for you, prepare yourself. Maybe you just want to live there for a few months of the year and then you go back, you know, to your home country. That's fine. That can work too. But prepare yourself, because I tell you day in and out, I talk to people back home and they tell you like Ghana's expensive. You sure you want to go come back? Like, you know, there's so much, but at the same time there's people also doing well. There are people also succeeding. So there's a reason why they are. So you need to do your research and prepare yourself. And I mean, yeah, on that note, that's what I have to say about this. It's the truth. Some of it is sad to talk about, some of it is eye-opening, but for me personally, if I was moving anywhere, I would want to know the real deal. I would not want somebody to sugarcoat it for me and say that, oh, it's so beautiful and this and this, and that you go and it's like, that's not what you experience. Like I said, there's people out there where their main goal is to show you the beautiful sides of Africa that they've never shown, which is beautiful. I'm all down for it, because there's so many places I want to see myself, and I know that Africa is beautiful. But at the same time, you also need to know the flip side of it, especially if you're trying to move there. So that's what I'm here for, guys. So yes, I hope this was helpful to someone who's thinking about moving back home now. And I wish that more people talk about their journey and their experiences and be more open about the real deal, because I think that can help a lot of people prepare themselves. It's not to discourage anybody, but it's to prepare you for things that you can possibly face. So yes, once again, I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. I would do more videos about different things when it comes down to Ghana. I said in my last video that I'm starting back up my podcast. When I did Charlie Day podcast, it was to talk about the everyday life in Ghana with different people, different topics. Since I'm here, I still want to continue that. There's so many young African entrepreneurs here. There's so many people doing so many things that are even doing things back home, and I just want to talk to people. Like I love having conversation. You never know what you can take from it, what you can learn from it. So I'm putting things into place to start that back up again, because I thought I had really good conversations with some very interesting and lovely people, and I'm interested to see what people here also have to say as well. And maybe it could go far. It could go somewhere. I can travel to other countries and talk to other people there as well. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. Stay tuned for Charlie the podcast. It's coming back out soon. And yeah, if you guys would like me to talk about anything else, definitely leave a comment below. I really appreciate your comments. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Just it's all about conversation. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and yeah, let's keep talking, right? Let's keep talking. And I can't forget, I have to thank you guys, because every time I look at my subscribers, I just see it going up. But please, don't be a ghost subscriber. Subscribe and watch and be involved, okay? So thank you to the 16.2K subscribers that I have. I really appreciate you guys. I hope by the end of the year, maybe we'll reach 50. That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. So please subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and share it and get other people to subscribe, and make sure you click the notification bell so anytime I drop a new video, you guys would be aware of it. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and once again, I'm Gabby Mac, and I'll see you guys in another video.